Hi guys, I'm Isaac from Contender Bicycles, and today we're going to take a look at some of Santa Cruz's trail bike models. We have here the Hightower and the Bronson. When you look at these two bikes side by side, the Bronson and the Hightower, you might ask yourself, wait, isn't that just the same bike? And while they're very similar, they're not quite the same. They do have different frames. So the Bronson and the Hightower are very, very similar in the points where in a size medium, they have the same reach at the hand-to-head angle, the head angle being 64.5 degrees, and then the reach being 442 millimeters in a size medium. And lots of their other numbers are very similar, but those two are identical. But there is one distinct number that really puts the Bronson and the Hightower apart, and that is the Bronson uses a 27.5 rear wheel, while the Hightower uses a 29er front wheel. The Hightower is also specced with 150 millimeters on the fork and 145 in the rear, while the Bronson has 160 on the fork and 150 on the rear, while maintaining the same head angle and reach. With these bikes being so similar, they are aimed at the same style of mountain biker, that kind of all-around trail rider who likes a descent. But there are some slight differences which makes you might want to think about, as a mountain biker, which one you might want to choose over the other. There's some pros and cons to both bikes, and while they still are both great, they are just different enough that you might want to choose one over the other. With the Bronson, that smaller rear wheel is going to let you corner a little bit faster. You're going to feel a little bit more maneuverable in the descents. It's going to feel more playful, I guess is a great way to put it, because that smaller rear wheel is easier to flick around. It also lets you get that front wheel up easier. So if you like to do wheelies or manuals, because of the smaller rear wheel, it's got lower rotation, so it's easier to pop that front wheel up and do things like that. But at the same time, because it's a mullet, its pedal efficiency is not as good. So it's not gonna be as good of a climber as the Hightower is because it's not as great pedal efficiency. The mullet does cause more of a bobbing sensation in the suspension. Though at the same time, because of that exact same reason, the suspension on the Bronson is gonna be more active and it is gonna be a more responsive suspension platform. On the Hightower with your 29er front and rear wheels and a straight away descent, like let's say you have a rock chute that is perfectly straight, the Hightower will actually be faster descending than the Bronson will because the 29ers are more efficient and they have more momentum to them. That also applies for flat ground. And like a long trail day where you might be covering lots of flat ground, you might want to choose a Hightower over a Bronson because it can cover more ground more efficiently due to the bigger rear wheel. The Hightower is also going to be a better climber because it doesn't have as much suspension bob and it sits you a little bit higher up as the bottom bracket is a little bit higher, which lets you go over roots and technical sections when climbing a little bit easier. So the Hightower is not going to corner as well in the descents, and it's not going to feel as playful or flicky in the descents because of that bigger rear wheel. So if you're a rider who likes a bike that feels more playful on general trails, maybe wants to take into the park once or twice, or even likes to jump a lot, then a Bronson might be a bike more suited to you. If you're a rider who likes to do longer days in the saddle, might be quite covering a wider range of terrain with maybe some stuff that's a little bit more flat and you need the momentum, then you might want to go with a Hightower. If you have any more questions about these two bike models, feel free to look at our website, contenderbicycles.com, or come visit us in store in Park City or Salt Lake City. Thank you for watching.